Hello everyone, my name is Kane and welcome back to more... It'll show up on the screen! Chaos Child! Last time we entered chapter 6 and oh boy, things are getting interesting. Because now we're starting to get into the big stuff with like D swords and everything. So, yeah. And we've now also got some more interesting info to sort through. The most interesting thing is that there seems to be an implication that all the victims might have had, not only were they psychics, but rather giglomaniacs. Which means they could have each had their own D-swords, or at the very least they definitely had psychic powers. But that does also mean that Takeru, who now we've discovered also has a psychic power, though that was kind of obvious, is now a target. Because if they're going for people who have psychic powers, then well, you know, I suddenly felt so tired that I almost dropped straight to the ground, but I managed to stop myself. How are you doing?
That's what I want to know. You scream so loud that everyone outside can hear you. All the neighbors are scared for you.
I was doing voice training.
Really?
No. Sarah looked at me worried.
But Taku, you're so pale, and you're sweating badly.
Sarah took a handkerchief out of her pocket and tried to wipe away my sweat. It's fine. I'll do it myself. The other big thing that we learned was more info on that girl that Inoue and Takeru saw a long time ago. The one who seemingly went through a similar kind of torture that Rimi went through. Which was the, her name was like Minamisawa or something like that? Minamisawa Senri? So, and apparently they seem to have been friends once with Kurusu. So yeah, I grabbed the handkerchief from her and scrubbed the sweat off my forehead. I'll wash this and give it back to you tomorrow.
You don't need to worry about it. I don't think your soap is especially dirty or anything.
You should. So anyway, what do you want this hour? I put the handkerchief in my pocket. Oh, is she gonna talk to... Is she gonna tell Takeru that... Hey, that person that we saw a long time ago, yeah, they were friends with Kurusu, by the way. Her face took on a much more serious expression than usual as she slowly began to talk.
I want you to talk to Non-chan and hear her out.
Kurusu? Right now?
She said she wanted you to come by our dorm after school tomorrow. But honestly, I think she actually wants to talk to you right now.
Is it that important?
Yeah, I can tell you, but Non-chan says she wants to tell you herself.
I think Kurusu is at this point scared that whatever happened to Minamisawa is going to happen to Takeru. Minamisawa was one of her old friends, but then just suddenly vanished. From her perspective, at least. So, why is it that she suddenly vanished? Is it because she did something similar to what Takeru is doing now? Was Minamisawa trying to uncover some kind of truth, but ended up going missing because of it, and now Kurusu is scared that Takeru is going to have the same thing happen to him, where he's going to be looking into something that he shouldn't have, and then suddenly go missing forever? I guess that's possible. I see. Serika never took anything this seriously. It really must have been something important. Alright, I'll go over there now.
Okay, that's my Taku. Always so nice.
She grinned and giggled a little, and then grabbed the handkerchief out of my pocket.
Don't worry. I'm just gonna enjoy the smell of your soap.
Don't say that. That's weird.
See you tomorrow.
You're weird. She squeezed her girl froggy strap to say goodbye, then spun around and left the RV. You're weird. Sheesh. I watched her go until she was out of the park. Kurusu wants to talk about something important. And as soon as she was gone, I tried to think. What could she want? I guess another question is, so who else could be Gigalomaniacs around us? We only know of 3 confirmed Gigalomaniacs. At least, well, it's more than likely we know of the victims also being Gigalomaniacs, so let's count those as well. In which case we have, if we're counting the victims, then we know of 7 guaranteed Gigalomaniacs. The first 4 would be the victims, so that'd be Utani, that'd be Takiyanagi, the mind reader guy from the business, and Takabe, or Wakabe, or whatever his name was. Takabe? I can't remember his name ever. Those ones are more on the condition of... But those ones I'm a bit more hesitant to call Gigalomaniacs, simply because we don't know... I mean, we never got to see them all that much, but considering the fact that it's likely that whoever the killer is going after Gigalomaniacs, I think it's safe enough to assume that they're more than likely, at the very least, like a good 75% chance, I'd say, that they're probably Gigalomaniacs. Maybe not quite with a D-sword yet, but definitely psychic powers Gigalomaniacs. In which case, on to the 3 that we guarantee know. Takeru, obviously. He's main character, of course, he's going to be a psychic. Not to mention with his power of seemingly always being lucky and able to get into any kind of, like... Everything always seemingly works out for him in a way. When he wanted to get into the crime scenes of different areas, the doors just suddenly unlocked. So a form of telekinesis. Then we have Kunosato, which we don't know what her power is, but we do know she has a D-sword because we saw one back in her room. And then, oh god, I've forgotten her name. Is it Arimura? Oh god, why did I forget her name? It's literally been 1 day since I've last played. How did I forget the name that easily? But it's the blonde girl. I don't know why I forgot her name so quickly. Point is, we've seen her pull... That one is probably the most guaranteed Gigalomaniac, simply because we've seen her pull out a D-sword and seen her use her power. We've seen her pull the D-sword, and then her power is that she can always tell the truth, basically. If she has someone to question, then she's always going to be able to tell if somebody's lying or not. We've seen both things happen with her, so she's the most confirmed of all the Gigalomaniacs, like 100%. But then, the question I want to ask is, who else? So, evidently it doesn't seem like... Kunosato herself said that she doesn't see Ito or Serika as Gigalomaniacs. And I do agree with that at the moment. I did kind of have my suspicions that Serika might have been one, but I think that's only because... The only reason why I always thought that Serika could have been a Gigalomaniac is really only because anytime something special happened, it was when she was near us. But now we know it's not because... It's not that special things were happening because she was near us. It was because special things were happening because we were around. It just so happens that anytime something special happened, it was with Serika around. And then there's and of course Ito's Ito. There's 2 people in particular though. Oh god, why am I so terrible at remembering names? I know Kurusu, but who's the other girl with the glasses? Gosh dang it, why am I so bad? Hana? Oh god, why am I so bad with names? I'm just gonna continue because I'm not gonna be able to make my statements without remembering names. Why am I so stupid? The idiot scared me a little, so I got raided as soon as I could and left the RV. I heard down the usual route I took to Albadorm, but... Not good. Something was different. Something wasn't the same as it had been before. Something was wrong. I didn't notice anything different when I came down here on the way home from school. So, what was this strange, dissonant feeling? Oh god. Why are there a bunch of stickers? The real ones. The walls, the fence, the streetlights, stickers were staring at me from all directions. And all of them were real. Not one of them was fake. It was that eerie 11th Rorschach image. Oh, is it going to cause another delusion? The scenery in front of me suddenly warped and twisted. I felt the Mountain Dew I just drank coming back up my throat, and I tried my hardest to keep it down. No, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm not a psychic. There's no reason for you to come after me. No, even if Arimura and Kumasawa were right, I did have some kind of power. It was only a tiny little power, which I couldn't master and wasn't even good for anything. There's no point in coming after me. Leave me alone. There's the crying again. What was that sound? It sounds like a cat in heat. No, wait. Is this the sound of a baby crying? But there shouldn't be any babies in this park. So what the hell is that sound? Immediately after I thought that, all the stickers that were staring at me opened their eyes, smiled. And then slowly, their eyes. Oh dear. Yep. Opened. No! No. I ran as fast as I could, not caring where I went. I just need to escape from the 11th Rorschach somehow. But... no matter where I went, it's burned into his eyes. No matter where I went, here, it's getting closer. There's so many of them. Were there really this many sumo stickers in Shibuya? How did I never notice before? Stop it, please stop! No matter where I went, it was like they were pulling me. I had no idea how long I'd been running from the fans of the sumo stickers. But no matter where I ran, the entire city of Shibuya was covered in sumo stickers. And each time I saw one, I felt sick and dizzy, as if I was going to throw up. Add that to the exhaustion of running, and I was barely able to keep standing. Just when I'd reached a conclusion, that there was nowhere left in Shibuya for me to rest anymore. I saw a silhouette crouched in an alley. It was a person clutching their arms to their tiny body. They looked like a stray cat. It was so different from the girl I was used to, that I initially thought I just mistook her for someone I knew. Arimura. When she looked up, I realized it was actually her. Arimura.
Miyashiro-senpai.
What are you doing here?
I don't feel good because of those.
She's also being affected by the sumo stickers. Arimura pointed behind her, but I didn't turn around. That was enough to tell me what she was pointing at. Another sumo sticker. The sumo stickers?
I see. You too, senpai.
Huh? It's only giggle maniacs who seemingly react violently to them.
You're terrible, senpai. You can't bear to look at them, can you?
For some reason, the 11th Rorschach of the sumo wrestler... For some reason, something about it causes giggle maniacs to react violently to it. Nope.
僕は
I
僕は
didn't want to admit it. If I admitted it, that would mean that I had special power-like armor and that my life would be in danger. That would mean that instead of me going after the case would be coming after me.
なんだか急に
Is it just me?
数が増
Or
え
are
た
there
と
more
思い
of
ま
them
せ
all
ん
of a sudden?
あれ
Armor's voice was so soft that it was hard to hear her.
今
They're talking about it on TV a lot right now, so I'm sure all the wrong hairs are sticking them up everywhere.
しかも偽
And not
物
just
だ
the
けじゃな
cakes.
くて
The real stickers
本物
too.
のシールまで
It's really annoying.
迷惑
You said it. I think people like that are going to get sick of it soon, though.
だと
I
いい
hope
んです
so.
けど
What is the point of going after Gigalomaniacs, though? Again, the only thing I can think of is that somebody might be trying to copy Neurose's plan of controlling people, but they know of how Neurose was foiled by other Gigalomaniac users. So, in order to succeed where Neurose failed, they're going to try and take out all the other Gigalomaniac users, and using these stickers is one of the ways of doing that. That's the only thing I can think of for why this would be happening. Somebody's trying to copy Neurose and is basically doing the one thing that Neurose should have done, which is take care of all the other Gigalomaniac users who could have stopped him. Anyway, let's go to Alba Clinic. That's the care facility where Cruz and I grew up. There's an examination room there, so even if you're not feeling well, you can get some rest.
Great.
はい
Thanks.
Can you stand?
それくらい
I
は
can't at least do that much
で
on my
きま
own.
す
She forced herself to smile, then ignored my outstretched hand and stood up by herself. Getting to Alba Dorm was a miserable experience. I could feel the influence of the sumo stickers increasing with every step I took. Are you okay?
はい
Yes.
Or so she said, but she didn't look good. And I wasn't in any position to be worrying about anyone else either. Hurry, just get to Alba Dorm. That was the one thought that drove me forward. But suddenly... You! That's not good. She appeared before us. A woman. It was a woman with a strange presence. If we'd been on one of Shibuya's typically crowded streets, I doubt I ever would have noticed her. But on this empty street, she was impossible to miss. Her long hair covered most of her face. And because of the streetlight was behind her, I couldn't read her expression at all. But I could see that strange, hungry light shone from her eyes through the thick hair that otherwise concealed her features. It was a dark light, one that somehow brought a deeper darkness, not illumination.
Senpai.
先輩
Arimura's voice was shaking. She realized how strange the woman was, too. And then... my eyes met hers. In the next instant... she laughed. Or so it seemed to me. Her laugh was empty, but at the same time somehow satisfied. It was a laugh like evil itself, and it was like nothing I'd ever heard before in my life. And then in a raspy, unpleasant voice, she spoke.
I found you.
This girl's bad news. Alarm bells went off inside my head. Bad. This is bad. Bad, 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 bad. My knees started to buckle. My instincts told me that she was dangerous. Arimura was staring at the woman, not moving a muscle. No, she probably couldn't move, even if she wanted to. It was like we were paralyzed.
先輩
That woman.
あの人
Arimura barely squeezed out the words.
多分
I think she's a psychic.
の
A psychic. I didn't want to admit it, but just looking at that woman in front of me was enough to dash all my hopes. Psychics are real. This woman, her very existence was enough to make me believe. Aimura,
なん
What is it?
ですか？
what's her power? I didn't know about any of the Gigglomaniac's powers besides Arimura's. From what I'd seen so far, some of them were a lot more dangerous than the ability to tell when someone was telling the truth. There had to be more types, for instance, ones that could be used as weapons. And there was no doubt in my mind that this woman had that sort of power. Damn it, if I had known this was gonna happen, I would have done more research. It didn't matter whether I believed it or not. How would I not have the information I needed at a time like this? Harimura. I don't know
そうな
either.
の。テレパシーなの
It
か
could be telepathy, but
クレ
it
コ
could
グ
be
ニションな
precognition,
のか
it could be
クレア
clairvoyance,
ボ
but
ヤンスなのかただ
Aimura's eyes were fixed on a single point. She probably couldn't look away.
あの人の能力
I think
は
her
も
power
っ
is more
と危険
dangerous.
な
Her power is something that can
人
hurt
に
people.
害を与える
The woman started sluggishly walking toward us. Slowly, slowly. I finally realized that the reason she seemed to be off balance as she walked was because she was dragging one of her legs. Maybe she'd injured it, or maybe it had never worked right to begin with. She approached us one step at a time, as if enjoying our fear. She took another step. A horrible smile was frozen on her face. Her eyes were looking straight at us, as if she didn't want to let her prey escape. I have to get out of here. But my body wouldn't move. My body had turned to stone, like I'd been stared at by Medusa. And then suddenly the wind blew. The wind's long hair flew up, and I could see just a little bit of her face. Aimura gasped. The woman had been terribly burned. Her face was covered in horrible burn scars. So that's what those are. The smile disappeared from her face. Instead, it was replaced by rage. Oh. Did something about seeing her face maybe makes it her powers weaker or something? There was nothing there but burning rage and the color of anger. If I could... She slowly brought her hands up. And pushed them out toward us. Oh, it's pyromancy, isn't it? Aimura screamed and pulled my hand as hard as she could. She has pyromancy powers, doesn't she? A pillar of flame sprung up right where I was standing. There was a blast of heat and the awful stink of burning asphalt. She's a pyromancer. She's the one who's committing all the arson. A burning pain ran down through my cheeks as the heat struck it. What was that?
It's pyrokinesis.
Yep. Pyromancy. She controls fire. She waved her arms, and the next moment, the space in front of me was a sea of crimson flames. Aimura and I tried our best to get away from the fire. Pyrokinesis? I knew that meant the ability to create fire. If I remembered right, it was a word created by a famous novelist. All over the world, there were historical records of unexplained fires breaking out for no clear reason. Spontaneous human combustion, where a human body would suddenly burst into flame, was one form these incidents took. Of course, spontaneous human combustion was considered pseudoscience, as most scientists believed those accidents were actually caused by static electricity or electromagnetic waves. And now, real pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me.
Why are you just standing there?
Huh? The next thing I knew, the woman was stretching her hands out towards me. Run! Unless you want to burn! I rolled along the ground with Arimura at almost the exact same moment the fire exploded outward. The smell of burning hair stung my nostrils.
Here!
There's no time to worry about that! We kept moving away, only barely dodging the burning flames. Pillar after pillar of fire appeared behind us. It looks like the flames had spread to a bike and some garbage that were lying by the roadside, but I didn't have time to check. The woman was getting closer, dragging her leg as she walked. Amira! I tried to grab her hand and run, but... fire. The fire appeared right in front of us, and as we tried to dodge it, we both lost our balance and fell to the ground. The planter next to us was on fire. I looked up as the footsteps got closer and saw that the woman was right on top of us. She's gonna kill us. That's what was going through my mind as I was lying there, frozen in terror. This wasn't an anime or a movie, this was reality. The pain from where I hit my leg when I fell, the pain from the burns, all these flames that... Why? I put my phone on mute. There we go. There we go. All those flames, the smell of melted asphalt, it was all real. Kunosama said that the Gigalomaniac's power came from delusions. And not just any delusions. These delusions affected the brains of others, and through being shared, they became reality. Delusions of Gigalomaniacs and the shared reality they create are capable of altering the physical world itself. That's what makes them so dangerous. Yes, and because of that, impossible pyrokinesis was happening right in front of me. And that power was going to kill me in Arimura. Delusional flames would become reality. In that reality, we were going to be burnt to death. Jesus. The woman slowly pointed her hands toward us. Maybe I was imagining it, but the air around me seemed to grow hotter. No. I don't want to die. I don't want to be roasted to death by these flames. No, I don't want to die. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to die yet. A bigger spiral of flame than any we'd seen before appeared before us. But at the same time... What? A D-sword. Something strange appeared in the corner of my eye. Frighteningly sharp. But also frighteningly fragile. Infinite and finite. Phantasmal and real. Like all the ugliness and beauty in the world had been compressed into one object. It was a D-sword. It was clearly a different shape than Arimura's, but still, I could see it. But since I didn't know how to summon it, I just desperately struck the woman with every delusion I could muster. I imagined the sword was slicing through her flames. And flung that image at her with my delusions. The burning fangs that threatened to engulf the two of us exploded. Huh? And then the fire danced like a snake. It flew in a straight line toward the woman who had created it. The fire turned into a spiral that leapt at her. She fell over in shock.
Senpai!
What was that? Was that my power? While I hadn't been looking, my D-sword vanished from my vision.
Senpai!
Let's get out of here! Aimura suddenly fell silent. I turned to see what she was looking at. As the air rippled from the smoke and heat of the flames... You. The woman slowly stood back up. I gasped at the color of her eyes. The fire that had been there a moment ago was gone. The light that burned with hatred was gone. Now there was only ice. Her eyes were ice, frozen, emotionless, and piercing. Aimura and I couldn't move. Slowly, slowly, with an unsteady rhythm, the woman approached us. And then she stopped a few steps away. Smoke was rising off of a garbage bin behind us. The planter next to us was making crackling noises from the heat. There was nowhere to run before us, behind us, or anywhere else. I couldn't even hear the bustle of the town. But the beating of my heart sounded even louder. The sound of my saliva running down my throat, the sound of my breathing, the sound of my blood flowing through my veins. All these sounds were proof that I was alive. But soon they would be gone. They would all disappear inside those burning flames. No. My legs shook. My eyes blurred with tears. Please, no. I don't want to die yet. I could barely speak. But the woman's expression didn't change. Not even a little. And as she raised her hand toward me, I closed my eyes. I'm about to. Hmm? Huh? I slowly opened my eyes, and then... Oh, the woman was gone. What happened? Are we saved? All the strength drained from my body, and I collapsed to the ground. I thought I was a goner. I thought she would kill me for sure. No. Until a moment ago, she was definitely going to kill me. I could tell from her eyes. They were cold, without a trace of doubt, uncertainty, or hesitation. So why had she suddenly disappeared? Arimura? I looked up and saw that Arimura was standing there, staring at the spot where the woman had disappeared. Senpai? What's wrong, Arimura? Is there something else? No, that's not it. It's just... It's just... I'm too scared to move. Is this it? I think we should be safe here. After the attack by the pyrokinetic woman, I'd finally gone to Alba Dorm with Arimura. I could probably get treatment for my burns here. It's close, huh? The front door is locked. I've been so busy running that I'd forgotten how late it was. I hope the key's still where it used to be. I've been given a key to the dorm, but I don't usually carry it on me. Back when I lived here, there was a spare key hidden on the grounds. Decided to look for it. There it is. Fortunately, the key was right where I remembered. Part of me thought it wasn't a good idea to leave it in the same place all the time, but today I was grateful for that. I'm worried something bad's gonna be in here. You can sit here. As I went into the exam room, Arimura stood hesitantly by the entrance. I motioned for her to sit in an exam chair. Your wounds. Don't worry, I can take care of myself. I see. Good. I got a little used to it, but I still didn't like the idea of touching her skin. You can use this as a disinfectant. I got some medicine, some cotton wool, and some adhesive bandages off the shelf and hand them to her. Since this was a clinic, a lot of the medicines were for use by professionals, but they were labeled in clearly written Japanese, so there was no way I could screw them up. Every time a new drug came in, it was Caruso's job to make the label and stick it on. She always said that if she didn't, Yui Yuto and I might take some by accident. She'd always been the type to worry about things like that. I'd always been told to make sure to straighten my shoes up when I took them off, or not to put my socks in the laundry inside out. She made me help with a lot of the cooking too, didn't she? Wait, why am I thinking about that now? I shook my head, shocked that I was thinking about those things when something much more important was going on.
Miyashiro-senpai. Is this where you live with Kurusu-senpai and
こ
the
こで
others?
クロス先輩たちと一緒に暮らしてるんですか？
The disinfectant must have stung because she was wincing.
暮らしてたんだよ
I used to,
少し前まで
until a little while ago.
じゃあ今
And where do you live now?
今は
Now,
別の場所で
I
一
live by
人で暮
myself
らし
in
てる
another place.
一人暮らしですか？
You live by yourself, huh? I'm
いいで
jealous.
すね。
まあね
Yeah, I guess. What about you?
有村は
I hadn't really meant anything by it. I was just where the conversation was leading.
知りたいです
Do
か？
you really want to know?
あいや
Oh no,
You
if
don't
you don't want
know
to tell me,
that.
it's fine.
いいですよ。
I don't
別に
mind.
それくら
I
い
live with some relatives. My
私
family
は
lives
親
kind of
戚
far
の家で
away.
暮らしてます。
そう
I see. If she was jealous of me living alone, did that mean she wasn't getting along with her relatives?
あ、
Oh, just so you know, I'm not being abused by my
別に
relatives
親
or
戚
anything
の
like
家で
that,
いじめられ
okay?
てるとか。
え？
Huh?
いえ、
No,
変に
I
誤解
just
されて
didn't
も
want you to
嫌
get the
だ
wrong
なと思っ
idea.
て。
別に誤解
I
なんて
didn't-
してない
やっぱり思ってたんですね。
That's right, she had that power. Her knowing if I was telling the truth or not made things difficult.
でも
But it was probably difficult for Arimura herself to know what someone was really thinking, whether she wanted to or not. That sort of explained how she acted at school. Unless she kept things on a superficial level, acting like a goofball and telling jokes, she'd know what everyone really felt, and it would crush her.
はい、終わりました。
Okay, hold on. Your
先輩も
turn,
どうぞ。
senpai.
あ
Okay. Since Harimura seemed to have finished, I sat down in a chair to take care of my own injuries. And at that same moment, the door in the back softly opened.
誰？
Who's there?
タクル？
Takaru, is that you?
Don't ignore the burns. Oh no. I'd hope that Caruso would be asleep. Well, originally I'd been coming here to talk to her about something important, but after the Pyrokinetic's attack, I decided against it. If she saw me injured like this, she would have worried, so I planned to talk to her tomorrow instead. Uh-oh.
何か音が
I
聞こ
heard
え
a
る
noise,
か
so
ら
I
気
came
にな
down
っ
to
て。
check. What are you doing here
こ
at
んな
this
時間
hour?
にどうし？
And then she realized that there was another girl in the room.
有村さん？
Harimura-san?
その
Hi.
お邪魔してまーす。
違
This
うんだ
isn't what it
こ
looks
れは
like. It's... I wasn't on some kind of weird late-night date with her, and then we got into a big fight where both of us got hurt. But before I could say something, which probably would have only made her more suspicious, Caruso saw us both and went pale.
二人とも
You're both hurt.
怪我してる。
これは
This is, I knew this was coming. Her own injury hadn't healed yet, so when I saw how worried she looked, it pricked at my heart. Stop.
貸して。
Give those to me.
Huh?
手当て必要
You
なん
need
でしょ？
someone to treat those injuries, right?
いいか
Give me the
ら貸しな
medicine.
さい。
あ
Oh. Caruso grabbed the medicine I was carrying and started to patch me up.
いやいや、もう大丈夫
No,
っす
we're
よ。
fine. I already did
私は
myself.
もうそんな適当な
You
処
have
置
to
じ
do
ゃ
it
ダ
correctly.
メ。
What if it leaves a
後
scar
になったら
behind?
どうする？でも、
But
でもは聞き
no
ません。
buts. Understood?
わかったわね。はい。
Okay.
Caruso's no-nonsense attitude was enough to overwhelm even Arimura. She sat still and let Caruso do whatever she wanted. So, when she was finished, she started on me.
で、
So,
何があ
what
ったの？
happened?
あ
Oh,
それは
what was I supposed to tell her?
できるだけ
I should probably try to find a way
伝
that
えるべき
to say it that won't scare her.
私たち
We were attacked.
襲われた。
Arimura,
ストレートすぎる
that's
だろ
way too blunt,
有村
Arimura. Arimura came straight out and told her while I was hesitating.
襲われた？
Attacked?
はい。
Yeah, by sidekick with the power control fire.
Chris's expression started to cloud over. You have to be a psychic too, don't you?
だから有
Come on,
村
Arimura, shut up!
余計なこと言うなよ
I glared at her, but Arimura just shook her head.
こういう時
At
は
times like this, if
変
you
に
try
隠す
hide
と
things,
かえって
it just
嘘っ
makes
ぽ
it
く
sound
なる
like
ん
you're
です
lying,
よ、先
senpai.
輩。
And that'll only
相
make
手に
people
も余計
worry
な心
more.
配をかけま。
Huh?
つうか、
Besides, even
ギ
without
ャ
my
シロ
power,
先
it's
輩
easy
の
to
嘘
tell
っ
when
て
you're lying,
私
Miyashiro
の能力
senpai.
なんかなくて。
お
有村さんの言う
Arimura
通り
sounds
だわ。
right. Just tell me the
ちゃん
truth,
と話し
okay?
て。
I guess I didn't have a choice. Welp. told her Caruso what had just happened, carefully choosing my words so as to not scare her. While I spoke, I had a flashback to the terror that I'd felt during the attack, and my voice started to shake. But I couldn't help that.
ということで、
So we don't know why either,
理
but
由
she
は
was
僕た
definitely
ちに
after
わから
us.
ないんだ。
Everything I said
No.
sounded unrealistic, even to me, but Caruso intently listened to every word. She just sat there and listened.
Miyashiro senpai.
Imura suddenly looked at me and spoke.
見えますか
Can you see that?
Only then did I notice it. I've been so busy talking that I hadn't noticed, but something had appeared in the corner of my eye.
これは
That's... When I remembered the terror I'd felt during the attack, had it brought this back as well? There's no mistaking it.
ディソード。
A D-sword. I whispered the words to myself and tried to visualize it more clearly. And then... the hazy, indistinct image began to take shape. I reached out my hand toward the bizarre object. But...
なんだこれ。
what's going on?
どういうことだ。
For some reason, I couldn't touch it.
タクル
Tucker,
何をして
what
い
are
る
you
の
doing?
剣があるんだ。
There's a sword right there.
剣
A sword?
やっぱり出せるよう
I
になった
figure
ん
you
です
learned how to
ね
manifest your own
自
D-sword
分の
now.
理想度
Imura said.
自分の。
My own D-sword?
はい
That's right. That's
そ
your
れが
D-sword,
先輩の
senpai.
理想度理想度
D-sword. An illusory sword that can only be seen by those with the power to make delusions real.
僕は。
Then, I'm a psychic
やっぱり
after
能
all?
力者。
だからずっと言ってる
That's
じ
what
ゃ
I've been
な
telling
い
you
で
this
す
whole
か
time.
そうだ
じゃあさっきの
Then,
女。
that woman
あれはやっぱ
was
り
after
僕
me.
を。
だと思います
I think so.
私を狙った
possible
可
that
能
she was
性
after me
も
too.
もちろんあります
What I'd been afraid of had become real. That woman. Her eyes. Her appearance. And her flames. The burn marks on our bodies told me that this wasn't a dream. It was real. At this rate, I would be killed. Like the victims in Don't Look and Revolving Dead.
どうして。
Why? Why was this happening to me?
あの
Arimura-san.
Caruso suddenly interrupted our conversation.
何
What
で
is
しょ
it?
うあなたの知って
Can
い
you
るこ
tell
と
me everything you know?
どうしてですか
Why?
誰が何の
I'm
ため
going
に
to find out who's
こ
planning
んな
these
事
murders
件を
and
起
why
こし
they're
ている
doing
のか
this.
調べ
おい。
What? Stunned, I leaned closer to Caruso.
お前。
You told me so many
事件に
times
は
not to
関
get
わるなってずっ
involved!
と言って。
でももう
It's
遅
too
いん
late
で
for
し
that
ょ
now. There's a
この
chance they
先
might
も
come after the two
タ
of
クル
you.
や有村さんが
クルス。
Caruso. I noticed earlier that something seemed a little off about Caruso. She told me so many times not to get involved in anything dangerous that I was sure, or when I told her what had happened tonight, she'd freak out. That's why even when I fled here, I still didn't want to see her. But after I told her, instead of looking angry or raising her voice, her expression was firm and resolved.
あのね
Listen, Takaro.
セリカから聞いて
Sarika
るか
may
も
have
しれ
told
な
you,
いけど
but there's something I want to talk to you about.
話しておきたい
Oh, yeah.
実は私
There's actually something I haven't told you.
あなた
言ってない。
Something you haven't told me. I felt a sudden pain in my heart. Her words remind me of the last time, when I was told that my parents were murdered. When I'd found out that the family rule at the Alba dorm, that nobody kept secrets from each other, didn't apply to me. Just everyone else. When I found out that I was the only one person who was different from the rest of my family. And I knew Caruso remembered it too. She had almost brought herself to the verge of saying something, but her memories came back and stopped her. She kept opening and closing her mouth, only to finally fall silent. I almost never saw her like this.
クルス。
Caruso,
僕なら
don't worry about me.
大丈夫だ。
Huh? I balled my hands tightly into fists, as if I was trying to tell this to myself too.
今の僕は
I'm not
あの時
the
とは違
same
う
person I
よ。
was before, probably.
多分。
So tell
だ
me,
から聞かせてくれ。
Takaru.
タクル
Is that just imagining things, or did Caruso's eyes get a little wet? I couldn't bear to look at her, so I continued.
とにかく
Anyway, I need to hear what you haven't told me, otherwise I won't know what's
何が
going
何だか
on.
わかん
そう
You're
ね
right. Yeah,
そうよね
I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい
And then she slowly started to speak. This is what she said.
今度の事件
I'm involved in this case too.
私は無関係じゃないの
I never thought she would say something like that. Caruso's involved in the case. What does that even mean?
この前
The hospital you snuck into
あな
before?
たたちがし
H
H Tokyo General
総合
Hospital.
病院
ええ
Yes.
その病
That
院の地下の
basement.
こと
I knew about it.
は
Huh? I can't believe what I was hearing. It was so sudden and surprising that I couldn't even follow it. The basement under H Tokyo General Hospital. She knew about that terrifying place. Why? How?
昔
A long time ago,
Senri がね
Senri. Minamisawa Senri.
南沢千
Minamisawa Senri! Yep. Pyrokinetic girl. I had to stop myself from reaching out and grabbing her by the shoulders.
ど
How do you know about her?
それは
That's because,
その
well,
Caruso paused and looked away. And then she showed me the phone in her hands.
because of
Yeah.
this.
There was a picture on her phone. A happy smiling boy and two girls. The picture was old, but I recognized one of the girls as Caruso and the boy as Kawahara-kun. And there was also a girl with them who had very gloomy eyes. It was without a doubt the girl whose dad I'd seen in the facility, the one called Minamisawa Senri.
そうか
That's right.
思い出
I
した
remember. I knew I'd heard that name before.
南沢って名前
It was
ど
during
こ
the
かで
Culture
聞いたことが
Festival.
あると思ったんだ
Kawahara-kun had said,
特に
especially me and one other girl. Her name was Minamisawa.
地震で
She
死んじま
died
った
in the
けど
earthquake, but before that, three of us were always together.
いつも来る人
I forgot about that too, to be honest.
3人でよくつるんでたんだよ
川原くんが言ってた
Kawahara-kun said you had a friend named
南沢っ
Minamisawa.
て子が一緒
そう
That's right.
この写
The
真
three
を
of us
撮っ
always
た
used to
頃の
play
私た
together.
ちは
This
いつ
photo
も
was
一
taken
緒に
around
遊
that
んでいたの
time.
よ
Minamisawa Senri, who had been subjected to those awful human experiments, used to be Caruso's friend.
千里はね
Senri used to go to that hospital once a week, every Sunday.
じゃあ
Then you,
クルスは
the back of my throat had gone dry and hurt terribly.
クルスは
Then you knew what was going
あ
on
そこで
there.
何が起こ
Caruso bit her lip and slowly nodded.
当時子供だっ
I
た
was just a
私は
child. There was nothing I could
どうしようも
do.
なかっ
It
た
was
の
so unbelievably frustrating and it made me so sad.
悔しくて悲しくて
Caruso looked down, her face twisted with pain, as if she was being tortured. She was a girl with a strong sense of right and wrong. Knowing that her friend was being experimented on must have been terrible for her. Did Caruso maybe go through the same trauma that I did?
でも
But I'm not a child
今はも
anymore.
う子供じゃない
I can't keep running away from
逃
it.
げるわけにはいかないわ
I have to know the truth about what's going on.
そうじゃないと
Otherwise, I can't protect
誰
anyone.
も守れない
クルス
Caruso.
有村さん
Rimura-san, please,
Onegai.
tell me everything.
全部欲しい
Was that really the right thing to do? I put Caruso in danger before, and now I was sending her down a dangerous path again.
仕方ない
I
ですね
guess we don't have a choice.
ちょ
Wait,
待ってくれ
Arimura!
有村
I tried to stop Arimura, but Caruso cut me off.
ねえタクル
Listen, Takaru. I
今
don't
日
know
あ
who
なた
hurt
た
you'd
ちに
say.
怪我をさせたのが
They
誰な
might
の
come
か
back, right?
何も知らないま
If
ま
I
じゃ
don't know what's going on,
私は
I
何も
can't
し
do
てあげ
anything
ら
to
れな
help
い
you. All I
た
can do
だ
is
う
be
ろた
afraid
え
and
るだけで
helpless.
何もで
I
き
don't
ない
want that.
だから
So tell me
全
everything.
部聞かせて羨ましいです
I'm
ね
so jealous.
Hmm?
Oh, it's
いえ、なんで
nothing.
もないです
So can I tell Chris senpai?
で
Yeah. I slowly nodded. Alright.
でも有村、
But Arimura,
Kurusu
before we get Kurusu involved, can I ask you one thing?
一つだけ
私に
And that
で
is?
すか？
僕は
I don't really know much about you.
お前のことまだ
Honestly,
よく
I don't even know
わからない。
if I can really trust you.
なるほど。
I see.
そうでしょう
Yeah,
ね。
that makes sense.
でもなんていうか
But right now, it doesn't seem like you're a bad
悪い
person,
やつ
so
じゃ
I
ないよう
just
な気が
want
し
to
てるんだ。
ask.
だから
Ask me what?
何をです？
お前は少なくとも
If nothing else,
そ
you're
の
not our enemy, right?
僕らの敵じゃないんだよな。お前のせいで
No one I care
僕の
about
大事
is
な
gonna
誰か
die
が死ん
because
だ
of
り
you,
しない
right?
よな。
Armor thought for a moment as she looked at me and Kurusu in turn. And then,
まあ、
Well,
さっきは
you
宮
just
代
saved my
先
life
輩
back
に
there.
助け
I
て
don't
も
think
らい
it would
ま
be
し
right
た
to
し、
hurt you after that,
恩
so
を
I
あだで
swear.
返すってのもどうかと。私のことは
I'm on
先
your
輩
guys'
たち
side.
の味方だ。
そっか。
okay.
おっと。
Oh, but I hate when
た
people
だ
get
し、ベ
clingy
タ
and
ベタ
super
なり合
friendly,
った
so
りす
keep
る
that
の
in
とか
mind.
大嫌いなんで、その辺はよろしく。
Then she smiled just a little. That was probably the first time I ever saw her genuinely smile. October 12th, 2015. Monday. Up, Shinjo time. Shinjo looked up at the huge white building and sighed loudly. Age Tokyo General Hospital. After Kurusu's report, he decided to visit it himself. It was almost midnight. Visiting hours were long over, and he didn't have an official warrant. He was here entirely at his own volition. But as he saw it, he was never getting a warrant the usual way, so this was his only shot. Normally, he'd want to slowly, painstakingly build up a case, but it seemed to him that searching the hospital was so important that there just wasn't any time to spare. First, I need to see if Kunosato Miya says true. If I can do that, I should be able to get as many warrants as I want. After his own investigations, he found that something strange had started happening here in 2007, 2 years before the earthquake. At the time, there was a treatment facility in Shibuya called the Heart Medical Association that was involved in some kind of cult. Give me a second, please. On the surface, it was a mental health clinic staffed with talented doctors from university hospitals. There was no way to know what they'd actually been doing, but evidently some people had suspected they were brainwashing troubled patients. But suddenly, the facility was reborn as a hospital with a non-profit assisted living facility. And all the doctors that Heart Medical had fired were rehired at Age Tokyo General Hospital. And then 6 years ago, there was a new generation madness. The fifth victim in that case, Takashina Fumio, the victim of the so-called numbskull case, who'd been kept alive for a week after his brain was removed, had worked at Age Tokyo General Hospital. What's with all these creepy coincidences? What's with all these creepy coincidences? There's too much that seems suspicious. What would you have done at a time like this? And then he shook his head. Do it your own way. That's what he would have said. Either way, Shinjo knew that if he could get proof of what was in this facility's basement, the case would take a whole different turn. If there was something big lurking in the shadows behind this case, if he presented incontrovertible proof, the police would have no choice but to act. It wasn't just about the facility, after all. There were a lot of people involved too. The lives and dignity of the victims who'd been turned into test subjects also mattered. Experimenting on humans, huh? Disgusting. Every year, almost 100,000 people went missing. If some of them had been forced into these experiments, that was a big problem. Okay, let's get this over with. His voice was somewhat relaxed, yet driven, as he headed into the hospital. He learned and memorized the location of the facility from Kunosato. He's gonna get, like, he's gonna get trapped and stuck in hair and whatever, isn't he? Oh god. He's stuck in from the ER loading zone and heads to the basement. The temperature there was clearly different from the areas above. And then he went to the autopsy room. If I remember right, this is where the entrance is. He is going to get snagged and then killed, isn't he? He opened the breaker box and saw the card reader inside. So this is it. He held out the card key that Kunisada had given him. Sir, you're going to die going down here. And he heard the sound of an opening door. I see. So something big's happening here. There was a hidden staircase in the back of the autopsy room. Part of him hadn't believed it until he'd seen it for himself, but now he was essentially sure. A normal hospital wouldn't need something like this. Yeah. Shinjo stopped for a moment to take a breath, then headed down the stairs. Give me a second. Sorry about that. There was an old hallway at the bottom. It smelled like mold and dust. When he turned on his pen light, he saw that it was an old facility, and the walls were falling apart. This place is still being used. If no one visits a building, it rots away. Unless someone uses it every day, it won't last long. But this place was different. It was old, but he was nearly certain someone was using it. I think she said it's up this way. Alright. Alright, place your bets. How's this guy gonna die? Let's be real. He's giving off about as many death flags as possible. Let's be real. Guy is not living for very long, is he? Shinjo followed the directions that Kunisada had given him as he headed toward his goal. His first stop was the monitoring room, which would have critical information on the facility. He wanted the data on the computer there. And then he wanted to find the room where the victims of the experiments were being kept. He turned down many corridors as he headed for his destination. The cell-like rooms he saw on the way concerned him, but they could wait until later. Right now, his biggest job was getting the evidence he needed. This has to be the place. Shinjo finally found the spot he was looking for. He used his card key to unlock the door. Then he swallowed and put his hand on the doorknob. When he got inside, he saw... What? Damn it. He quickly ran to the other room, the prison where Yamazoe Uki had kept the test subjects. You're kidding me. This can't be. It can't be. He quickly found the room and flung open the door. And then he stood still in astonishment. There was... nothing! Nothing there. Where did they all go? No victims, no beds. None of the things that Kunisada had told him about. The monitoring room had been empty too. Oh, so everything's just gone? There were no security cameras, no computers. Nothing at all. All that remained was the simple fact that there was nothing left at all. Hey, Mishiro, we're going to club today, right? Of course, I want to go over a lot of things in the case. Okay, let's go. Oh, sorry, go on ahead without me.
なんだ
What? You got something to do?
用ってか
Well, I'm on clean
今日
duty
掃除
today.
当番
I point to the other students who are moving the desks and sweeping the floors.
あ
Yeah, but you know, why do they make the
あ
students
し
do
か
the
しなん
cleaning?
で生徒に
確かにな
You said it,
So-
it's only a few countries,
生徒
including
が
Japan,
学
that
校
make
を
their
掃除
students
す
do the
るなんて
cleaning.
習慣
ああストップ
Oh, stop, stop. I
一
don't
席
need to
ぶた
hear
な
it.
くていいから
Okay, see you later.
じゃあ後でな
あ
Oh,
たく
sheesh. Time to get this finished and head to the club room. Hmm? I saw a scrap of paper lying on the floor next to the garbage bin. Someone had probably tried to throw it in the wastebasket and missed, then left it there. Really wish to think about the people who had to do the cleaning before they did that. I took a quick look around. There was another student named Tanaka-san right nearby who was mopping up the floor. Fortunately, there was no one else around. Okay, let's try this. I visualized a scrap of paper lifting off the ground. This was more difficult than you'd think. If you lost your concentration for even a moment, it wouldn't work. Well, can I do it? I took the scene I'd imagined and tried to strike Tanaka-san with it. And then... Yes! The scrap of paper floated upward, just like I'd imagined. And then it floated into the garbage can. Nice. I did a little victory pose.
あれ
Huh? Tanaka-san was looking around in surprise. She looked at me a little afraid.
ね
Hey,
え
Mishiro-kun,
宮代くん
あはい
Yes,
No.
what is it?
です
今さ
did I just see a piece of
Nanka,
hair moving to the garbage can on its
紙くずがね。
own?
はあ
手も触れてないのに
You know,
ゴミ
it
箱
went
に
without
入っ
anybody
たっ
touching
て
it.
いうか
まさか
No way, you must have been
何かの
mistaken.
見間違い
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
そうだよね
Still, she stared at the garbage can unsatisfied.
あの
I'd like to go throw out the
ゴミ
garbage,
捨
is
ててき
that
たい
okay?
んですけど
うん
Yeah,
Go
sorry.
I took the garbage can out into the hallway. Phew. More. I want to use this power more. That's a bad idea. Chapter 7, The Resistance 2. In Time for the Eroding Past. It said before, from what I read, that there was only 10 chapters in this game. So we're actually getting close to our first end. Everybody here? It had already been 3 days since Arimura and I had been attacked by the pyrokinetic. We'd been worried that she might attack us again, but until now, nothing had happened. Thanks to that, we'd finally calmed down, and today I was feeling good enough to revisit what we knew about the case.
まず話を始め
First,
る前
before we
に
get started,
紹
let me
介
introduce you to... New friend.
Ciao, I'm Arimura Hinai, and I'm always silent. So nice to meet you all.
これからよこちらこそ
Nice to
よ
meet
ろ
you
しく
too.
パチパチパチ
It's still hard to keep up with the way her mood seemed to change all the time. Sarah was applauding, but no one else was. Kazuki was playing Iso 2 or some other game, like she always did. She turned around to take one look at Arimura, then went back to her computer screen.
と
Arimura isn't actually joining the
は
newspaper
別に
club,
新
she's
聞部に
just
入
helping
るわ
us.
けじゃなくあくまで協力して
一応
I'm
所
gonna
属
look
は
club
文芸部なん
actually,
で
but there's
で
only
も
some
まあ
details.
固い
I'll
こ
be
とは
coming by
抜
as
きに
much
し
as
て
I can.
とりあえず来れるときは
For
顔
what
出
it
す
was
って
worth,
こ
I'd
と
already
で
told all the
どこ
newspaper
一
club
つ
members about Arimura's power.
ねえねえひなちゃん
Hey, Hina-chan, can I ask you something?
いいよ
Sure.
Ah,
Oh, but
で
my
も
measurements
3
are
サイズは
main
乙女の
secret.
日
有村のスリーサイズは
I
別
don't
に
really know
な
if I care about Arimura's measurements.
お
Damn.
いこらてめえ
How'd you say, asshole?
And then her mood changed again. Damn.
ひなちゃんってさ
Which is the real you, Hina-chan? Sometimes you're cheerful and sometimes you're serious and sometimes you're scared.
そうだな
Well, which
ど
do
れ
you
だと
think it
思
is?
う
Hmm?
う
Hmm.
や
Come
だな
on, you don't have to think about that
そこま
hard.
で真剣に考えただね
But what I can tell you is that knowing that somebody's telling the truth is a
嘘
lot
か
harder
本
than you
当か
think,
分かっ
Sari.
ちゃうって
If
い
you
う
don't
の
mess
は
around well,
セ
you
リ
can't
が思
survive.
ってる以上にずっと
Hmm?
Serga seemed lost in thought, as if she didn't really understand.
そうそうそこのあなた
Oh, right, you.
Kazuki jumped a little.
ねえねえ
Hey,
彼女
hey, you.
君
You're
さ
first here, right?
1年だよね あーごめん
Oh, sorry.
で
Can
き
you
れ
say
ば
out loud
口
for
に
me?
出して言ってもらえるかなああ、ひ
Oh,
なちゃ
Hina-chan,
ん
don't ask for
ダ
that.
メだよ
Hana-chan
は
doesn't
なちゃんは
talk.
喋らないからえ
Huh?
そうなの
She doesn't.
ふーん
Hmm.
そ
You
れ
mean
って
she can't talk?
喋れない
いいんや
No, I
そう
don't
いう
think
わ
that's
け
the
じゃない
case.
は
She
ずな
just
んだけど
really doesn't want
とに
to.
かく喋りただから俺たちも
Even when
まだ
we've
一
never
回も
actually
和
seen
樹
her
の喋ってる
talk.
とこ聞いたことな
へえそうなんだ
I see.
Armor stared at Kazuki's face.
オッケーオッケ
Okay,
ー
okay, Kazuki Hana-chan, right? So can I call you Hana?
でいいんだよね
Hmm.
じゃあ花
Okay,
こ
Hana.
れから
Nice
よ
to
ろ
meet
し
you.
く
I thought Armor might have found it difficult to get along with Kazuki, but maybe I was wrong. Since Kazuki didn't talk, that might actually be easier for Armura since she didn't have to worry about knowing if she was lying.
それじゃあ早速始めるか
Okay, let's get started.
待ってくれ。
Wait, before that, there's something I have to tell
も
you.
う一つ言っておかなきゃ
Kurusu
い
is...
けない。
遅れちゃってごめんなさ
Sorry
い
I'm late.
Kurusu opened the door and came inside. Her injury had healed, and Dad had told her that it was okay for her to move around, so she'd come back to school today.
副部長
Nice present.
もう話
Have you
始まって
started
る
already?
あいや
Nope, we definitely haven't
俺
been
たち
talking
は
about the
別
case.
に
No
例
story.
の事件に
いいんだ、伊藤。
It's okay, Yuto.
あ
Huh?
クルスも一緒に
Kurusu's gonna help us solve the
事件
case.
の解明をしてくれる。
え
Huh?
そうなのか
She is!
え
Yes,
え
I
みん
guess
な
you
の
could
お
say
目
it's my
付け
job
役
to
って
keep
と
an
こ
eye
ろ
on you.
ね
Kurusu glanced at me for just a moment, worried. But it was only for a moment, and then she went back to normal.
とにかく
Anyway,
これ
let
ま
me
で
hear
の
your
事件
opinions on
に
the
つい
case
て
thus
意見
far.
を聞か
If
せて
there's
もらう
anything
わ
that's even a little off, I'll
少し
gladly
でも
point
お
it
かし
out.
なところがあれば遠慮
The
なく指
Mikatsu
摘
that
する
she
からその
had
つも
when
り
she
で
was hurt was gone, and now she was back to her usual self. Ito's shoulder slumped, but at the same time, he looked a little happy. She's always obnoxious and at times a little annoying, but this is the way everyone wanted Kurusu to be.
じゃあ全員揃ったところで
Okay, now that everyone's here,
ミーティングを
I'd
始
like
め
to
よう
start
と
the
思うん
meeting.
だけ
But
ど
first, there's something I want to show you all.
先に一つ。
なんだ
What's that?
まだ尾上と
I've
ク
only
ルス
shown
に
it
しか
to
ちゃんと
Onoe
見
and
せてない
Kurusu so far. It doesn't work
成
100%
功
of the
率も
time, so it might fail.
100%じゃない
But
から。
Ito, Kazuki, and Arimura looked at me in confusion. I nodded and grabbed a pen, then put it on the table. Blows up pen with mine. I try my best to focus. And then, just like the scrap of paper earlier, I imagined the pen moving.
問題はここからだ。
Here's the hard part. Can I do it? As I focused as hard as I could, I saw it slowly appear in the corner of my eye. There it is.
よし、来た。
Okay, there it is. Now all that was left was to imagine my delusion infecting everyone else. Levitate, pen! Levitate for me! The next moment, the pen started to jerk upward. Float!
Huh?
Whoa!
Hmm?
The three of them raised their voices in surprise as the pen slowly moved upward. Float! When I stopped imagining the floating pen, my D-sword disappeared from my field of vision, and the pen slammed back down onto the table. Oh, Michio!
Oi,
That's
Miyatsuno!
incredible!
すげえ
言った通り
Just like I said,
ま
I
だ
haven't
完
mastered
璧じゃ
it
ないん
yet,
だけど
but
いつの間に
When
で
did
き
you
る
learn
よう
to
に
do
なった
that?
んです
尾上に協力
Onoe
して
helped
も
me
ら
try a
っ
bunch of
て
things.
いろいろとやってみたんだ。
Ito gasped in amazement. When the pyrokinetic attacked me, I was forced to accept that I really was a psychic. After that, I decided to master my power instead of running away from it, and I'd gone through a lot of trial and error to do so. At first, I tried to do it on my own, but that didn't go well. And then I remembered what Kunosato-san had said. She said that a gigalomaniac could only reboot something by transmitting their delusions into the dead spots of another person's brain, to create what she called a shared reality. Which meant that if I didn't have someone to share my delusion with, it would never work. So when I'd started practicing with Serica, things began to go much better. It only works if somebody else is
でも
nearby.
先輩
But
言
senpai,
って
you
おき
know
ま
that if you
す
start
け
using that power
ど
for
そういう
fun,
の
nothing
いい
good's
気
gonna
に
come
な
of
って
it,
使
right?
ったりすると有村さんの言う
Imura
通
sounds
りよ
right.
その
I
くら
know
い分
that.
か
I'm
って
just
る
doing
よ
this to protect everyone.
俺は僕
ふーん
I
だ
hope
った
so.
らいいんですけど
I was telling the truth. I managed to turn back the pyrokinetic's flames at the last second. That was the only reason we survived. But that was just a fluke, born out of desperation. If she was going to come after me again, I needed to master my power. That's why I decided to practice like this.
だけどさ、
But you know,
なんでだろうね。
it's weird.
Suddenly, Serica frowned. She was fiddling with her Garo froggy strap like she always did when she was thinking about something.
なんでだろうって。
What's weird?
何が？
相変わらずい
You
きな
know,
りね、セ
Erica,
リカ
you
は。
may be able to make sense of what you're
あ
saying
なた
inside
の
your own
頭の
head,
中
but
で
the
は
rest of us can't.
話がつながってるのかも。
Sorry,
ご
sorry.
めん
Well, Yanjan can tell if
その
someone's
ね、
telling the truth,
ほ
right?
ら、
And
ひな
Taco
ちゃ
can
ん
move
は
objects.
相手の話が人によって
I was just
使え
wondering
る
why
力
everybody
に違
has
い
different
がある
powers.
のはなんでかなって。
To be fair, it is kind of weird because that wasn't really the case before. When go back to Chaos Had No End, the D-Swords there. Sure, everyone's D-Swords looked unique and stuff, but they could all relatively do the same thing. Okay? Forcing delusions onto other people. It was just different on how they decided to have them appear. So why is it now that it's different? Why is it suddenly that there's seemingly restrictions on everybody having different powers? Why doesn't everybody have the same power anymore? Oh. I never thought about that before. She had a point. Why did different people have different powers? Kurosawa-san hadn't said anything about that. That definitely wasn't the case before, though. Another thing, when did you get this power? Were you born with it? That was another thing I've been wondering about. What about you, Miyashiro?
少なくとも
I didn't even know I had this power until a very short time ago, so honestly, I don't
自分
know.
にそんな
そんじゃ、
Then what about you, Arimura?
私は
I think mine just came to me after the
多分
Shibuya
渋谷
earthquake.
地震の後ですかね。
After that, I suddenly could just tell when
あ
people
れ以
were
降
lying.
急に人の言葉の嘘が分かる
Right
よう
after
に
the
なった
Shibuya
っていう
earthquake.
か。
ってことは
Does that mean that the earthquake is somehow
関
involved?
係があるのか
Is it possible that the events of that earthquake and the events of Chaos Head Noah somehow changed how Gigalomaniacs work? And, it changed how the power of Gigalomania worked. After all, it was a big change. It was a big device that was capable of doing a lot. That was basically the villain of, the main weapon villain of, Chaos Head Noah. It's possible that its destruction and how it affected Shibuya might have permanently altered how maybe people can interact with the Direct Sea or whatever. I'd have to look into that eventually.
あと、今のセリの
Also,
疑問
as for Sari's question,
どうして
like
人
different
に
people
よ
have
って
different
能
power,
力
I have
が
an
違
idea
うの
about
かって
that.
話だ。何
What is it?
多分
I think it's because of the
願
wish they
望
made.
なんじゃないかな。願望
A wish.
Wish.
そうです。私、
Yep, and I
地
had a
震の
little
時に
itty
ちょ
bitty
っぴ
thought
り
about
そう
during
思
the
うこと
earthquake,
が
and
あ
the
り
next
ま
thing I
し
knew,
て。
I was like this.
で、
I
気
was
づ
like
いたら
this.
こんな感じになってたっていうか。
Actually, now that you mention it, that would actually fit in with the victims too, wouldn't it? With the victims being able to, having wishes, it kind of actually fits. Utani was a streamer, and he wanted to get popular, and what would make him more popular than an ability that allows him to tell the future? People would be flocking to him to see that. Then there's Taki Yanagi, a singer. A singer always wants their voice to be heard. Sure, hers was granted in an almost monkey paw-esque way, but you can't deny that her wish was granted. A businessman. Then we go to a businessman, and of course, a businessman always wants to make deals work. And if you could read what your client is thinking, you could perfectly make it so that every deal is a win. And then, of course, a reporter would always want the best scoop possible. Being able to take images in a psychic way, you would get the best scoops imaginable. So it would fit in with the victims and what they did.
そう思う
What'd you
こ
think
と
about?
ね。嫌だな。
Oh, come on.
だから
You
本
know,
当の
I
こと
want to know
を
the
知りたい
truth.
って
Tell me
話。
spell it out. It's
言わせない
embarrassing.
でよ。
いや別に照れる
No,
と
that
かじ
doesn't
ゃねえ
really
だろ
sound embarrassing.
そもそも本当
What do
の
you
こと
mean
が
you
知
want
り
to
たい
know
な
the
んて
truth?
一体
What
何があ
happened?
ったんだ
やだ先
Geez,
輩。
senpai,
や
you're
ら
such
し
a
い
nosy pervert.
なんで
What?
そうなる
そういうのは
Call it a mean
痛い
secret.
け
So
な
no
乙
more
女の
questions.
秘密
None.
なんですよ。
When Arimura was like this, I knew I wasn't going to get anything out of her. Anyway, let's go over what
一
happened
旦
so
これま
far.
でのことを整理してみようか。ニュージェネの狂気の再来事件。
All the victims in
そ
the
の
Return
被
of
害
the
者
New
に
Gen
は
Madness
明
cases
らか
have
に
one
共
thing
通
in
するポイン
common.
ト。
言うとあ
You
れだ
know
ね
what that is, right?
そう。
Yep,
前にも
just like I
推
guessed
測
before,
した
they
通
were
り
all psychics.
全員最初の事件。
The first
こっち
victim
み
in
ん
the
な
Don't Look case.
被害者とその特徴は
Let me go ahead and save here. We're not ending it here, I just want to save. The first victim in the Don't Look case was famous for being able to predict the future.
そう。
Yes,
多
you
分
could
予
probably
知
see
能
the
力があ
future.
ったってことだ。
Precognition.
次は音漏れた。
Next, the audio bleed
被害者
victim.
とその特
She
徴は
Those that heard her music into a trance. Fits in with a singer.
トランスって
Trance.
言
You mean
う
like
と
anybody listening to her
歌
felt
を
really
聞いた
good?
人の気持ちま
Yeah,
あそん
probably
なよう
something
な
like
もの
that.
ですかね
つまり
In other
相
words,
手
she
の
was able
感
to
情
control
を
what
歌で
people
誘
felt with
導
her
できたっ
music.
てことだな。
Emotional control.
で僕たちが目撃し
Next,
た
the victim in the
回転デッド
revolving dead case.
被害者とその特徴は
Was able to read clients' minds. Perfect ability for a businessman needing to
多分
to
カ
make
キタって
deals.
人は
I think this
テレパシーを持ってい
Kakita
たん
guy
だ。
was a telepath.
ええその通りです
Yes, that's
私に
right.
はそう言ってま
That's
した
what you told me.
そして
And as for the
学
victim in
園
the
祭で
morbidly
起きた
obese
ごっさんで
case,
す。被害者とその特徴は
getting scoops with psychic powers, psychic
そう
photography.
渡
That's
部が
right.
有名
All
に
of
なった
Watabe's
スクー
famous
プ写
scoops
真
were
は
taken from angles and
全
places
て
that
あ
shouldn't
り
have
えない
been
角度や
that
場
should
所
have
か
been
ら撮ら
impossible
れ
to
ているもの
photograph.
ばかりだっ
He was probably using psychic
た。多分連
photography.
写だったんだろう。
Yep. Hmm.
やっぱり私が言
So
っ
it's
た
just like
通
I
りで
said.
すよ
Don't you feel like all
ど
these
の
powers
能
have
力
some
者
kind
も
of wish
願
involved?
望が入ってる気
They all
しません
perfectly
か
fit in with the kind of trade that each person was in.
願望か
I。wish, huh?
こっちみんなのオータ
Utani,
は
the victim in the Don't
もとも
Look
と
case, was a
ニコ
Nico
ニ
Nia
ア
streamer
動画で
that
生放送していて
was able to become famous. From what Shinjo-san said about Takinagi, the girl in the audibly case, she became a popular vocalist. Kakita-san from the Revolving Dead case.
僕たちじゃ分から
Him,
な
I
い。
don't know. Arimura, do you know anything?
有村は何か知ってるか？
そういう
He didn't
話
talk
はあ
about
んまり
much.
し
I
ま
guess
せん
there's
で
a lot
し
of
た
backstabbing in his job.
けどでも
But
能
once he
力
got
を
his
持
power,
っ
he
て
didn't
か
have to worry
ら
about that
その心
anymore.
配もなくなったって
He succeeded in business, never having to worry about being taken over.
そしてごっ
And as
つ
for
んですの
Watabe, from the
渡部は
morbidly obese case, became a popular net reporter.
なるほどな。
I see.
こうしてみると
Looking at it like this,
確
you
か
may
に
be right.
有村の言う通りかもしれない。
つまり
In
願
other
望
words, their
が
wishes
そ
had
の
an
人
effect
の
on
能
their
力に影
powers?
響してる
ってことは、宮
Does
代
that
の
mean
そ
that you
の
power
能
come
力
from
も
which too,
な
Miyashiro?
んかの願望が
手を触れずに
Have
物
you
を
ever
動
wanted to be able
か
to
せ
move
た
things
ら
without touching him, senpai?
そんない
や、僕は
Whoops.
あ
That's
あ
not what I
れ
meant. Oops. No, I couldn't think of any reason why I'd want that power. Alright, sorry about that.
じゃないタク
I think I know.
ほら、
Taku,
あの時
remember after the
タクっ
earthquake
て
when you were in a
地
coma
震
for so
の
long?
後ず
Oh,
そういえ
Come
ば
to think of it, you had a really hard
あ
time
の
even
頃の
walking
タ
back
クル
then.
は
Just like Caruso said, I've been badly injured during the earthquake. Even after I'd finally woken up from my coma, just walking was incredibly painful. It was bad enough that it would take tens of minutes just for me to grab something a few feet away. I'd hated that, and I'd wished 1,000 times that the thing I was trying to get would just come to me. Then that's where my power came from? Makes sense. We can assume your theory that these powers come from witches is right then. Then that woman, the one who attacked us, her power comes from some wish too. Pyrokinesis. Just wanting to burn everything. Burning with rage.
She want to burn something?
Could she want to burn so badly?
Maybe she wanted to roast yams?
This is really the time to be telling jokes.
No, senpai. Seri seriously believes that.
Seriously.
Huh? Did I say something weird?
Yes, you did, Serica. I mean, pyrokinesis would be good for cooking food. Well, whatever. We can worry about why she became pyrokinetic another time. There's one other problem we have to think about with her. Something important. I looked at the faces of everyone in the room. Whether she's behind all the murders so far. To be honest, no. It wouldn't really match up. Assuming that if her power is pyrokinesis, it wouldn't match up with the way that other people have died so far. She could have been trying to kill us. But that didn't mean that she was behind all the murders. I look back at the board. Kazuki, get the thing I asked for. I took the image that I'd asked Kazuki to print out for me. No, we've been talking about it because of the return of the new gen madness, but there's been a string of recent arson cases in Shibuya. Everyone seemed to already know about this. They nodded. I'm going to compare the arson sites with the locations of the murders so far. First, here's where the Don't Look case took place. And here's where the arsons were. Oh.
Wow.
I know, right? So, it's almost like she's marking them in a way. Next, the audio bleed case. It was here. Now we overlay the locations of the arson fires. Wait, are you serious? And then the Love Hotel where Revolving Dead happened. There were also suspicious fires set around the Love Hotel. It's wherever she's marking them. They're all concentrated in the same general area, yeah. That's right. Now, as you all know, the morbidly obese case took place at our school. And then when you overlay locations of the fires, it fits perfectly.
That's kind of incredible.
Right? You can get a better feel for it by looking at the whole map. So each of the locations were kind of marked by her flames. Wow. I was surprised too when I first noticed it. And in light of all this, we can assume that there's some connection between the murders and the arson cases, huh? We can assume, right? Yeah, it's too much of a match to be a coincidence. That woman has some connection to the murders. When I finished, Serica said, "Wow, you're amazing, Taku." But everyone else seemed lost in thought. Any objections? I wouldn't call it an objection, but can I say something? Kusu raised her hand. Yeah, go ahead. Well, she stood up in such a way as to not put pressure on her injury and then moved in front of the board. I want to check something. The woman who attacked you, her power was pyrokinetic. Yeah, her power lets her control fire, right? Yeah.
But none of the
これ
murders
まで
so
の
far have
殺人
involved
事件で
fire,
は
have they?
炎なんて
That's the problem.
えっと
What was the
最
first
初
one?
が
Don't look.
こっち次が音漏れ
Next
か
was audio bleed.
そして
And then
回転
revolving
ベ
dead.
ッド
I keep getting
この
messages,
学
I'm
園で起こ
sorry.
ったのはごっつぁ
And
ん
the
で
one that
すよ
happened at
ね
the school was so
殺
morbidly
人事件に
obese.
こんな名前を
It's
つ
so
けるなんて
disgusting given names like
不
these
審
two
だわ
murders.
ほら見て
Look
ど
at
れも
them.
炎なんて出
None
て
of
こ
them
ないで
involves
しょ
fire.
あれれ
Huh?
確かに
You're
そうだ
right.
ね
So, why is it that there's fires around them but none of the murders involve fire themselves? Chris had caught on to one of the weak points in my argument. Oh, for God's sakes. Can you guys give me a second? I'm gonna keep getting annoyed by something. Excuse me for a second. I'm getting bothered about something and I can't. If I just don't do it now, I'm gonna keep getting bothered by it. Oh my goodness gracious. You know what? Alright, apologies. I was getting really bothered about something. I don't know if this is going to desync the audio, and I apologize if it does, but if I didn't do it, then I was just going to keep getting friggin' spammed on it, and I was getting really annoyed. I apologize. It's like I told them I was going to do it, it's just, I needed time, but they kept asking about it. I thought it was strange too. None of the murders involved fire, which meant that we had very little evidence to suggest that she was the killer.
なあこういう
Hey,
の
how about this? Maybe the firewoman was testing her powers or something.
自分の
試す
Testing?
あ
Yeah, maybe she really didn't know what her power was at first, so she started testing different things. Maybe that could be why each murder is different.
いろんなことを試してたんだそれで殺害方法にいくつも
Using
パターン
killings to
が
test her powers.
なるほ
I
ど
see. You're smart,
しんちゃん
Shin-chan.
頭いいね
Sarah was impressed, but
でもそれって
Isn't
ちょ
that
っ
kinda
と
hard
無
to
理
believe?
ないですか
I remember I said it before I could.
そうか
Is it?
いくらなんでも
Just seems like too much of a
強引すぎる
stretch,
かな
I
っ
think.
て私もそう思う
I
け
think so
ど
too.
うーん
I
そう
see.
か
Everyone fell silent. We'd only just started, but there was still too much we didn't know.
あの女が犯
If
人
she really is the killer, then why didn't she use her fire?
なぜ
And why did she kill them like
殺
that?
人を行ういや待て
No way. I suddenly got an idea.
なあ有村
Hey, Arimura,
ちょっと
I've
聞
got a
きたいん
question.
だけど
なんです
What is it?
お前結
You were
構
hanging out with
黒里さんと
Kunosato
一緒にい
san
た
a
よ
lot, right?
好きで一緒に
Not
いた
because I
わけ
wanted
じゃない
to.
ですけどね
Arimura's disgust was plain to see on her face. She must have really hated Kunosato-san.
黒里さんは
She's doing
能力
research
に
into
ついて
psychic
研究
powers,
してる
right?
んだろ
Does she have anything to say about the number of powers a Gigalomaniac can have?
ギガロマ
数で
A
すか
number?
ああ
Yeah,
今ま
I
で
never
気
really
づか
thought
なかっ
about
た
it,
け
but
ど
is there a rule that a
能力
psychic
者
can
は
only have
一
one
人
power?
で一つの能力
さあどう
I
な
don't
んでしょ
know. I can tell you that Kunosato-san
うで
never
も
talked
確
about
かに
though.
そんな制限黒里
リアルブートの理
The
屈
way
から
real
考え
booting
れ
works is
ば
that, in theory, as long as you
妄想さえうまく
control the
コントロール
delusion
できれば
properly, you can use any
どんな
power
能
you
力だって
want.
使えると思うんだよつまり
In other
一
words,
人
it's
で
possible
複数
for a
の
person to
能
have
力を持つ
multiple
ことが可
powers.
能なんじゃないかってことなんだけど
Ida put his hand on his chin and lapsed into thought.
宮城たちを
So the woman who
襲った
attacked you
女は
you two wasn't
単なる
just a
パイロキネシ
pyrokinetic.
ストじゃない？
あくまでも可能
It's just
性
a
の一つ
possibility,
だ
but
けど
what do you think?
まだ決定的
That's
とは言え
that's
ない
hardly
わね。
conclusive.
だったらさ、
Then maybe she has a helper who has a different power.
別の
仲間
Helper? Oh,
Ah,
I
so
get
ka.
it. There's
Kusu
more
なんて
than one
ことだ。
person involved. Multiple people, including pyrokinetic.
それとあとは
Or
最
this
初に
takes us
戻っ
back
て
to
しまう
start,
けど
but maybe the pyrokinetic is
パイロキネシストの
involved in
事
the
件
murders
と無
and the
関係で
real killer is someone
犯
else
人は全く
entirely.
別の誰か。
その場合、
In
タ
that
クルた
case,
ちが
the
襲わ
attack
れ
on
た
Mitsu
事
was
件と
completely unrelated to the
これまで
murders,
の連
right?
続殺人事件。
Yeah. There are too many possibilities to really know what was going on.
ねえ、とりあえ
Hey,
ず
why don't we
こ
put
の
this
件
psych
は
now?
保
We're
留
not
にし
gonna
な
get
い？
anywhere for now.
多分
そうだな。
You're right.
とりあえ
Let's
ず
leave it for
今は
now.
このまま置いとこう。
宮城と有村は警
So
察
the
に
police about the
話した
woman
ん
who
だよ
attacked you, right?
はい。
Yeah.
警察から何
Did
か
they
情
tell you
報はないの
anything?
か？
The night we were attacked, we contacted Shinjo-san and told him what had happened, along with the description of our attacker. After Arimura had said that she'd helped draw a composite sketch, too. The police had decided to look for her as a suspect in the arson case. If they could find her, they'd arrest her for that. Once they had her in custody, they could find out if she was responsible for the murders.
何か分かったら連絡を
He
く
said
れ
he'd
る
call
は
us if
ず
he
なんだ
found
けど
something, but I haven't heard
特に
anything.
何もない
I don't think they found out who she is
女の
yet.
特定に
そっか。
I see. There's nothing else we can assume about her for
女
now.
に関する推理は
だと思う。
I think so. Oh well. My throat was dry from all the talking, so I looked inside my bag. Mountain View. I opened it and took a gulp. Everyone else grabbed a drink of their own and took a moment to relax.
あと
Oh, there's a few
もう
other
い
things
くつ
I've
か
been wondering
俺が
about.
気
Can we
にな
talk
って
about
る
them
ことを言
too?
ってもいいか？
うん。頼
Sure,
む
let's do it.
まず一つ目な。
First,
被害者は
all the victims were psychics, right? How did the killer find that out?
犯人はどうや
The
って
sumo
タ
stickers,
ー
I
ゲットの
feel.
能力者を見つけてる
All
ん
it
だ？
takes is to see how they respond to a sumo sticker. Ida's question was a good one, and one I'd known was coming.
それについて
I've got an
は
idea
一応
about
考えてある。犯人は
I think the
能
killer's
力者
using
を
the
特
sumo
定する
stickers
た
to
め
track
に
down their victims.
多分力士し
歴史シール
The sumo stickers? Because anyone who's a psychic will react violently to the stickers. We've already seen that with how Arimura and Takaru react to them. If they're a psychic, then they react violently to the stickers. So, all it would take is keeping an eye on people and seeing who reacts in a special way to the sumo sticker.
正確には
More precisely, the
11
11th
番目の
Rorschach
ロールシャ
test.
ッハ
Remember what we saw in the
AH
basement of
東京
H
総合病院
Tokyo
の地下
General
にデー
Hospital?
タがあっただろう。
Any psychic who sees that
あの
sticker has
シ
a
ールを
very
見せ
strong
られる
reaction
能
to
力
it.
者はそれは僕
Armor
や
and
有
I
村
have
も
both
経験済
experienced
みだ
that for ourselves.
思
Just
い出した
remembering
だ
it
け
makes me
で
feel a little
ちょっ
sick.
と
Armor closed her eyes and put her hand over her mouth. She must have felt like she was going to throw up. Are you
大丈
okay,
夫有村さん
Arimura-san?
あ
Yeah, sorry. Keep going, Miyashiro-senpai.
ああ
Okay.
で伊
He
藤や
told
小
him
野屋
I
は
saw
地
this
下
in
で
the
見たと
basement of the
思うけど
hospital, but they had
街
cameras all
中
over
のシー
town
ルが
watching
監
the
視されてたよ
stickers.
能力者の素質がある人
They were
間を
finding
集め
people
て
who had the potential to be psychics to
地下施設で実験
experiment
する
on
ために
them underground. I could see Carusa's expression cloud over. She probably remembered her friend, Minamisawa Senri, who'd been a test subject down there. It hurt to see her like that, but I decided that I had no choice but to stay on the subject.
だから犯人は
So I think the
あ
killer
の
might
地
have
下施
come
設
from
の
there.
出身者じゃないかと思うんだ
If she knew the secret of the stickers,
歴史
it
シ
would
ー
be
ルの
easy
秘
to find
密を知ってい
psychics,
れば
right?
能力シールを見て
She
過
just
剰
had to
反
look
応
for
を起こし
people
て
who
る
had
人
bad
間を探し
reactions
出せ
when
ば
they
いい
saw it.
事実僕や有村
For
は
one thing, the woman
歴
that
史シール
had
のせいで
attacked
パ
us
ニ
when
ック
she
に
saw us
陥った時
panicking over the
あ
stickers.
の女に狙われ
じゃあ
So the
犯人
killer's
は
using the
地下施
cameras
設の
down there.
監視カメラを利用
There's
し
no
てる
way.
って
You
いう
need
の
a
か？
card key to get in.
それは無理。
それに
And that place is
もう
basically
廃墟
banned,
みたい
right?
だったよ
Nobody was there watching the
シー
stickers
ル
and
の
nobody
監
was
視と
doing
か
any
されてな
experiments.
かったし
いや
No,
あの
even
施設
without
に
that
いなくて
facility,
も
they could watch the
シ
stickers.
ールのか
え？
Huh? Kurusu nodded as if she understood. I
タ
know
ク
what
ルの言い
Takaru
たい
means.
ことわかっカメラで監視して
They
る
didn't
とか
have
じ
to
ゃな
watch
く
via the cameras. They could just
実際に
stand near the
シールの
stickers
近
and go
くで
after
見張っ
anyone
て
who
いて
reacted like Takaru and
タク
Arimura-san
ルや
did.
有村さんの
そう
That's
パ
right.
イロキネ
I
シス
think
ト
the
の女
pyrokinetic
も
was weighing near the
シール
stickers
の
too,
近くに潜んで
like a spider
待っ
waiting
て
for
たんじゃ
something
ない
to
かな
pass into its web.
クモの巣に獲
And
物
then
がかかる
Arimura
の
and
を
I
待つ
happened to just pass by.
そ
そいつは
That would take a long
で
time,
も
though.
不可能じゃない
It's not impossible.
けどさ
But
待って、
Wait, we won't get any
その
further
点に関
debating
しても
that. Let's go on to the
今
next
議論
point.
したってけど保留ばっかりだ
If you leave
ね
questions unanswered,
いいのかな？
is that okay?
仕方
We
ない
don't
わ
have a choice. Our goal right now is
とに
to
かく今は疑
needs
問
to be
点
to
を
get
出
as
して
many
いくの
questions
が
out
先
there
だ
as
か
we
ら
can. Ito-kun, is there anything else that's
伊藤
bothering
君
you?
あ
Yeah,
あ
two
と
more
2
things.
つなんだけど
Ito asked his 2 remaining questions. Summed, this is what they were.
なぜ今回の事件は
Why are the murders
かつて
taking
の
place on the same day as the
ニュ
New
ージェ
Gen
ネ日付に起きている
incidents? That's a great question as well. It is weird. Why are they matching them to that?
そもそもその
And
動
what's
機
the
は
motive
何なのか
behind them? Actually, we might actually know something now. It actually, the question of why on the same days as New Gen Madness might actually tell us something about the pyrokinetic, which is I don't think the pyrokinetic is actually the main killer. Because think about it, they were just about to kill us on a day that wouldn't match up with the rest of the killings, right? Not to mention, it didn't follow any of the other Earth killings where we know a knocking existed at some point. So I don't think she's actually like the main killer here. I think she's someone separate. Or at the very least, she's not. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but she's not the one who's actually doing the killings.
なんだかまるで
It's like the
騒ぎ
whole
にな
point
る
of
こ
them
と
is to
自体
attract
が
a lot
目
of
的みたいに
attention.
も見えるわね。
そうだな
Yeah. Everything from the dates to the ways the murders were committed was chosen to be as sensational as possible. Was it just to attract attention, or was it a message meant for a specific person?
それが犯行動機なんですかね。
Is that the motive?
私知ってるよ。
I know, like a
愉
serial
快
killer,
犯って
right?
言うんだよ。
劇場型犯罪
They
とも
sometimes
言う
call
な
those types organized killers.
もしこの先も
If the murders continue to follow the dates of the New Generation Madness, the next one will be on the same day as Numbskull,
次は
October
ノータリン
23rd.
事件と同じ日10月
Which also
23
meant
日
nothing
っ
was
てこ
going
と
to
なんだ
happen
け
until
ど
then.
なるほど
I
だから
see,
か
so that's why! Ito suddenly snapped his fingers as if he'd reached some great conclusion.
お前と有
The
馬
two
さ
of you were attacked by the pyrokinetic, then the
パイロキネシスト
engine
に
killed
襲
you.
われたけど
あ
Yeah,
それって要する
maybe
に
that's because it wasn't the right day
殺
yet.
す日じゃなかっ
あ殺す日じゃなかっ
Right
た
day. Does that mean it wasn't my power that saved us? No, but it really felt like she was going to kill us. No, I don't think... I think she was just going to kill us out of order. I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more confused I felt.
それじゃあ
Alright,
私
I'm
は
gonna have
そろ
the
そろ
student
生徒
council,
会
but
の方へ
promise
行
you
くけ
won't
ど
do anything dangerous while I'm
く
not
れぐれ
around,
も
okay?
私のいないところで危険なことはしちゃダメよ。
そんな
You don't
何
need to
回
keep
も
saying
念を押
that,
さ
I
なくても
know.
分かってるよ
本当
Are you sure
ね
about that? Yeah. It's been a while since Cruz had glared at me like that. Now that the Empress was back, she was scary.
ああ、そうそう。
Oh, right, and
それから
Tucker.
タクル、あなた、
Cruz got up close and whispered to me,
今夜から
come back to
青バ
Alba
リオ
Dorm
に入っ
tonight.
てきなさい。
え
Huh?
狙われているのかも
Someone
しれ
might be
ないんで
after
し
you,
ょ。
right? It's dangerous to be
今
by
の場所
yourself.
に一人でいては。ずっととは言わ
It
ない
doesn't
わ
have。to be forever. It
し
can
ばら
just
く
be
の
for a little
構わない。
while. Live at home
事
until
件が
this is
解決す
resolved.
るまで
いやでも
No,
さ
but
ダメ。
no complaints.
問答
If you don't
無用。
come back, I'll come and
も
get
し
you.
帰ってこなかったら、こっちから連れに行くからね。それじゃ。
あちょっと
Hey, wait! Before I could say anything else, she ran off to the student council room.
生徒会
You're
長
just student council president. You shouldn't be running in the hallways.
副部
What
長
did
は
the vice
何だっ
president
て
say?
あいや別に
No, nothing.
こっちの
Just
話
some
だよ。
personal stuff. She wanted me to go back to the dorm. What should I do? There's no real need to listen to her, but knowing Caruso, she might really come barging into my RV.
しかしな
You know, there's just so much
い
we
く
don't
ら考え
understand.
ても
そうです
You
ね。
said it.
なんか
My
頭
head's
痛
starting
く
to
なって
hurt,
きちゃった
right,
よ。
Taku?
タク
Taku?
Eh?
Huh?
あ
Yeah, you're right.
そうだな
We hadn't really learned anything today. We had no proof, just a bunch of guesses.
な
Hey, why don't we
久
talk to
里さんに相
Kunosada-san?
談してみる
久野里さん
Kunosada-san.
ほら
She might know
彼女
that
なら
a
俺
lot
たち
that
の
we
知らない
don't,
こと
right?
いろいろ知ってる
あ
Ha,
あ、
that's
そ
probably
れ
a
は
bad
やめ
idea.
といた方がいいっすよ。
Armor shot down his idea.
なんで
How come?
あれ
Didn't I tell you? She doesn't think of us as
あ
human.
の人ってば。
え
She was really mean to you too, wasn't she? Or did you just get off on that? I can be like that too if you want.
だから
I'm really not into
俺は
that.
そう
Don't
いう
say the same
趣味
thing
が
that
ねえっての
Shiro did.
宮代と同じこと言う
I
な
remember I'd gone the same idea about Ito I had. I laughed a little. And then Arimura turned out to us with a smile and continued.
別に冗
I'm
談じゃ
not
ないん
kidding.
ですけど
I
ね
can tell when people are lying, right?
私人の言ってることが久野里さん
Kusasa says a
私
lot
た
of
ちに
mean
よく
things
ひ
to
どい
us.
こと言い
But
ますけど
she's not joking.
本
She
気
really
で
hopes we
私た
die.
ちが死ねばいいと
Why? That's actually terrifying. The fact that you mentioned that. You're right. She does mean that, doesn't she? Why does she hope we die? Huh? That was a surprise. Did she really hate us that much? What did we do? Arimura continued on in the same chipper tone a girl might use to discuss after-school plans with a friend.
あの人の目に
She
は
only sees us as
私た
insects
ち
she can
害虫
experiment
駆除の
on.
ため
Are
の
you okay
実
with
験
being
台
a
にし
dream
か
like an
見えて
insect,
ないみ
Ito
たいで
senpai?
す害虫と同じ扱いでいいんですか伊藤先輩
After the meeting in the newspaper club ended, I bought a Mountain View in the vending machine in the cafeteria and sat down on a nearby bench. I'd been thinking so much that I was exhausted. I opened the plastic bottle and gulped down the bubbling carbonation inside.
You
drink that stuff again? You really do seem to like it.
ほんと好きだな
Ada brought a can of black coffee and sat down on the bench with me. You know, that really surprised me back
さ
there.
っきはび
Huh?
お前の
Your
能力だよ
ま、
Well,
僕
I'm
自
still
身も
surprised
まだ
myself.
驚いてるけど。
とにかく感心したってい
I was
う
really
か
impressed. It was really cool.
やめろって。
Stop it. I don't exactly want to
男
hear
に言
that
われ
from
ても
another
一つ
guy.
も嬉しくない。
Something the heroine says to the male in a romantic comedy. And then the hero falls in love with them, maybe. No, no way.
それもないな。
A series of faces flitted through my mind. Serika with her dopey laugh, the ever-angry Kurusu, Kazuki playing ESO2, and Arimura with her acid tongue. But I couldn't imagine starting a romance with any of them.
なんだよ
Now, come on, let's just try and say
せっかく
something
褒めてや
nice
っ
to
た
you.
のに
Either threw the empty can at the garbage bin.
あ惜しい
That's a good one.
全然惜しくないだろ。
I've seen a preschooler do better. The garbage can had a lid and only a small hole to throw the cans in. Of course, there was no way he could get inside.
なあな
Hey, can you
あ
do
ま
it
た
again?
やってみせてく
何を
Do what again?
だから
Your power,
能
dude.
力だよ
Ito looked around the cafeteria as he spoke, making sure no one was too close to overhear him.
え
What? Was this why you thrown the can? Don't do it, you idiot. No! You know what? We're gonna... It's a bit shorter than usual, but we're gonna go ahead and end it here for today. I do kind of have a couple things that I'm being bothered about. So, yeah, let's just end it here for a day. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you all later. Peace.